Good evening and welcome back, everyone. Sorry for that slight technical hiccup here. We are here with the first game of the night, lightweight scrim gym between SGT and Drift Esports. I am Gaspar. I'm joined with a fantastic Left Aid. Both teams charging on off the Nexus, looking for a classic 5-man line of scrimmage.
Well, almost everyone is charging off the Nexus. We do have the bot lane of SGT hanging out in base.
Just asleep at the wheel. Don't worry about it.
Just a little car crash.
Mm-hmm.
No, but it is going to be a pretty standard 5-point start. Once the teams do get onto the map, we did have vision place. We have topside coverage by the Scion for SGT. We do have a slight stack here near the top half of the bottom side river for them. But ultimately, since no invades seem to be coming through, they won't be punished for this very vision-lacking line of scrimmage.
It is an aggressive defense, to be sure. Waiting to see if anyone tries to come in there. That would be an extremely optimistic set of a potential invade pathing from the side of Drift Esports, and wisely deciding not to try and take that potential course of action here. So it's good to see both teams playing the respect game, at least here, so far into the match.
Oh, Vigar got one early AP. It's over.
Ooh, but traded 200 health for it. Is that 200 health for one AP trade worth it in the mid lane? Is there a real point of contention here?
Yeah, we do see here. We'll have to see if that 1 AP makes the difference. We'll watch the 1 health, and then we'll know.
So looking across the lane matchups here, both sides duking it out pretty evenly so far. The big ones that I want to look out for are how is Shen doing in the top lane, and how is Gonpachiro in the jungle going to be doing his routing on the J4. Looks like he's still doing that full clear of the bot side. Both junglers mirroring on the bottom side of that map as far as starts go, so potential to meet up on the top side of the map.
Yeah, we do see that their clear speeds are going fairly quickly. However, it is important to note that Yi will actually be ahead in experience because the camps on the red side of the jungler are worth more experience and gold than that on the blue side.
Oh my lord, look at that bot lane. Nessa Poo on that Morgana taking a beating in that 2 versus 2, but Otter getting trade back on top of in the top lane. Both top laners with that grasp of the Undying, keeping them healthy. Potions popped, and Scion does have that extremely strong set of base damages on his ability. He's going to have to watch out there in the top lane.
Yeah, he will definitely have to be watching out. It was a very aggressive trade. I like the look there. It was, oh, I have a free taunt, let me take it. But he does forget that Scion's base damage is very, very high right now.
Stop Cold Dead there. Does have that shield, and Hillbilly Joe with a great pop-up to keep Otter from coming on in there. If the taunt had landed, that's quite a lot of extra damage, especially as that Shen sword pass-through didn't happen, and the Spirit Blade going through the unit that you're hitting does massively increase the amount of damage you're able to do in trades, so great step overall from Hillbilly Joe there.
Absolutely. Hillbilly Joe having a nice, good time. And,
but is he having a ball?
I don't know, but will Otter make a supersonic man out of him?
How long till Scion gets old?
Ooh, it's about 3 levels, so probably about 3 to 3.5 minutes going here.
He did the math. So looking at the bot lane there, we kind of took a ton of damage in the early trade, but had the potions. Does have the Biscuiteer for the added heal and sustain. Vatex taking some damage there. Will barely.
Ooh, we'll actually force that spell shit out. That's really important because Jarvan was bot side. Unfortunately, he's going to have to leave because he's invested too much time now, and there's nothing down here to clear. So he's really starting to fall behind this Yi now.
And he does catch the binding. Nessa Poo seeing that, calling it out there, and good coordination planning overall there. Fork Outlet taking some damage as well, and the trade just happening across the map. Both teams just kind of feeling each other out so far into this game, and moment to look here at DRF Dive. Already racked up some of that bonus AP. Currently sitting at 40, I believe.
Yep, he is sitting at 40. He's sitting at 52 total AP and almost 20 stacks of Gathering Evil. This should be it right here. Oh, he's going to instead auto-attack it instead of Q. He wants to keep a mana pool available. I'm one of those really greedy Vigar players that I don't need my mana pool if I have my flash. All I need is my Q. So certainly he's a little bit more patient than
wow, the cleanse already forced out there.
Yeah, it does force out the cleanse. I think that was very premature of Ecologist there because honestly, the Vygar doesn't have the damage right now to kill him. It would have just been a stun. It would have been a free 3 AP for the Vygar, sure.
He still got it, too. I mean...
Exactly, and he still got it. And at the end of the day, you would have rather had that when Vygar has you in range to kill you.
We're up top. Does have that flag and drag kill. Billy Joe, forced to do something defensively. There's the slow coming on down there, looking to walk away, but is going to force that walk away flash, and Otter even gets the minions. Very good tempo gank in there from the Jarvan, coming on through here to burn that Major Summoner top for the Scion.
Yeah, he was in the right place at the right time there. Otter was starting to suffer from those high Scion-based damages. He really needed some help there to kind of reassert his dominance so that Scion didn't start getting able to push and use his Demolish on those towers.
And that's a big deal. I mean, denying those early plates is denying an early major advantage. The gold from those is not anything to be scoffed at. And speaking of gold, just ever so slightly in advantage of Drift Esports here. And for that bubble comes up just a little bit short. Nesapu with a great call out on that back step.
Yeah, that whole 200 gold right there is Xeno's Xayah right now. I mean, realistically, there's nobody else who has a significant advantage or disadvantage in CS. That entire advantage is the Xayah.
We've talked about this in the pregame, how strong that Xayah is. Touching under the bubble there, and potential trade on back. Looking for that feather collar. Oh, man.
Yeah, that heal from Fork Outlet going to be able to keep him safe. And it does mean that the trade goes pretty even, although in terms of mana pools, it will go in favor of Drift Esports.
Right, the fact that Xayah really doesn't have high mana costs if she's managing her abilities well, even with that clear, is really good. I mean, Ashe really is forced to use that the volley if she wants to clear wave in some of these situations with that bonus range. And at this point of the match, things very clearly in slight advantage of the Xayah, of the Nami, and we'll see how they can use the pan on out there. Shen is really starting to lose some CS in the top lane, but once again, not a huge surprise, especially as Sion has unlocked that ultimate, and the base damages are just gnarly for that Sion up until Shen is able to get some items on the board. Defensive itemization is huge in this matchup.
Yeah, it is a very large part of this matchup here. We do see that actually Sion and Shen kind of having the exact same build minus boots right now.
What a good bubble coming on through the bot lane. Vatex looking for those shots with the Ashe.
Ooh, the heal being burnt during the ignite. That's that Grievous.
Vygar with the ultimate mid lane times it out, and Ecologist wishes he had that cleanse now.
Yeah, he wishes he had that cleanse, or that he had just walked to the wall and flashed. I don't think he was expecting that damage to come out of that Vygar this early in the game. Honestly, I was a little bit baffled too that it did as much there.
Dark Harvest with those stacks coming through huge. Dive also, I mean, again, it did about 50 more damage than I thought it would, which was more than enough to kill the Syndra. He had also softened her up with auto attacks earlier. It was a good play. And just great game knowledge from Dive, understanding, okay, this is how much damage I'm dealing with the Vygar, and Syndra getting just a little too complacent with that positioning, with those decisions. But up and top.
Oh, Otter's going to be going in. I'm going to have to stop you as Jarvan is trying a gank on the top side. The ult from Sion is going to be burned.
Looking for the play here. It's going to be Shen teleporting in to save the J4. Damage coming down, and the kill will go through. Great play overall, and once again, another successful gank in that top lane. Otter the beneficiary in a big way.
Yep, and Otter being gifted that kill is actually huge for him because he was losing this lane to the Sion, which he does lose early just due to the fact that Sion has higher base damages and they have the same builds early on. However, with this Shen ahead now, a kill, this is going to equalize the lane and kind of help him get to that point where he's just able to ignore the Sion's damage.
Right, and that is such a huge breakpoint in this matchup. Ecologist looking for the ult on the Vygar, taking just a few more seconds till that Primordial Burst is back up. Gonna have to look out for that one as this mid lane continues. J4 now there, but the bubble lands in onto Morgana in the bot lane. The Master E is here. Here comes the counter gank. That's the flag and drag and the kill. The Alpha Strike from the Master E getting the damage on through there. The Conqueror is so real. Here comes the Shen. The dive under tower will be able to go down, but Shen does not have the flash. Alpha Mo with that reset coming through in a big way, and Sion on the backside of the fight to bolster and prevent more additional kills.
Yeah, Scion rotating down there. I like the play there. I like the counter gank. Unfortunately, the Shen TP, just a lot too late. Really needed to happen at the start of that play. I don't think they thought that the Yi was going to be able to clean up both those kills. But when you have a Vigar that's playing without ultimate, he is very vulnerable to anything that dives on top of him.
Right. And it was unlucky timing as the Shen had used that ultimate of his, the Stand United, on the top side to help the J4 there. And the teleport could have come in a few seconds sooner, to be fair, but the reinforcing minion wave was really not there at the time of that play. So it was a tough situation for Otter to be in, and even another second or two could have made the difference. But a great play overall from Alphamo on that Master Yi, picking up those kills and now buying himself a major advantage in that jungle position.
Yeah, he's got that their skirmisher saber, and he is building towards that blood razor at the moment, which will be huge once it is completed for him. He'll be able to further damage and further assassinate his opponent. And like you said, the reinforcing minion wave wasn't there for Otter, but he did, in fact, TP on the Jarvan standard, which had been there that entire play.
Yeah.
So he definitely could have come sooner. It is just unfortunate. It was probably a miscommunication, and again, just a lack of knowing or realizing that Yi would be able to take both of those kills and finish them.
Oh, Syndra eats the flag and drag. Does not have the flash. This is a dead mid laner.
No flash, no cleanse. Goodbye, Syndra. Overly aggressively trying to take that ward.
And that's just the power of Vigar here coming through. I mean, you have the AP, you have the damage. You have to be careful with your positioning as the Syndra, and a lack of respect from Ecologist really going to cost him there.
Now, Otter just initiated a trade on Hillbilly Joe up top. That was not the smartest thing to do. He had minions that he missed.
He is here in the bottom lane now looking for the play. Hourglass pop, the Feather Storm from the Xayah going through. There's a wave looking for the Morgana. Will drop him lower and lower. Otter is here. Nesapu, all members around here still. Alphamo going under that tower. Will drop Otter down, trading the kill. It's a double for the Yi, but here's the Vigar. Does have the cage, but not the flash. Spell shield going through, forcing the flash on. That damage from Vigar is absurd. Still has that primordial burst up, but the play ends up being a 2-for-2 at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I actually like that from Drift Esports. That was a shutdown for the Xayah. That kill for the Xayah, who's already 18 CS ahead, now a shutdown. This bot lane that was already struggling to get a foothold from SGT is now just in an even worse position right now because this Xayah has a fully completed item at this point.
Oh, man, that Essence Reaper is such a strong pickup right now, and it is matched by just the Bilgewater Cutlass by the Ashe. Still a ways off that Blade of the Ruin King if we look at the money here, and that is going to transfer into a significant power discrepancy. And if you look at the mid lane, the bigger thing that's eye-raising is, holy moly, look at the power of this Vigar. But
I'm trying to 1v1.
And succeeding, the Ashe dropping lower and lower, does have that Ignite ticking. Fork Outlet will have the W up in just a moment. Getting those auto attacks down further and further, but here's Zeno to get that last shot in. Vigar will be forcing Nesapu back. Does it end up eating the stun? Primordial burst is there, but here's Master Yi, and the Syndra will be able to knock the Vigar down in the top lane. Hillbilly Joe taking a lot of tower damage, but does have that item advantage compared to the Sunfire Cape. Otter getting those hits in, forcing the ult on. Oh no! Misses the flash.
Did not quite flash in front of the Scion ult. I know why you do that. You do it to stop it. You do it to secure that kill. Unfortunately, just a little bit too far away was that Shen.
Just close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. X left, and it's going to cost Otter a major cooldown. We'll have that teleport live in a few more seconds. Dragon is on the board. That would be a major one. There's the ult coming through from the Ashe. Alphamo is here. Xayah does not have the ult. J4 is a little late to the party.
Damage.
And what a huge burst of damage, mostly from the Master Yi with the 1.5 completed items in this Infernal Drake. Is an easy take with those respawns coming through.
But you also see why Syndra is such a high priority at Worlds in that play there, because she just single-handedly stunned and half health with just a WEQ two members of Drift Esports.
Vatex could be in trouble. One more Q would seal it from
Oh,
the
he's in
Vygar. The
trouble.
last auto attack, not enough, but changing the focus towards the Syndra. Ecologist takes the Dragon Strike, but Alpha Mo is here on the Yi, dropping him real low. That's an ult. Here comes that Alpha Strike in, forcing the flash. There's the Meditato from the Yi, now looking for Nesapu. There's the Cage. Morgana getting the damage in. Dive underestimates the play. Alpha Mo is low, gets the Alpha Strike and the kill, and everything's coming up SGT.
Yeah, that play, big time SGT advantage. The advantage that Drift had been holding on to just evaporated in that one play. They lost 4-0. They lost the Dragon. And they have really... It seemed like this was a different Drift than what we have been seeing last year. There's no clear communication. There was no clear target selection in that fight. Xeno is just not being protected on these fights, is just getting freely dove. And that kind of is in part due to the fact that Master Yi doesn't care about any of your front line in the way of getting to a dive. But at the same time, you have to go, what's going on, guys?
The biggest problem there was simply the target selection. 4 members of this SGT squad were dropped to blinking health bars, and none of them were finished off. And that is absolutely a death sentence for your chance to take any of these fights, especially in Master Yi. Has that meditate, has the ability to top off that health bar and get back into the fight, and it costs Drift so much.
Yeah, I do wonder when the next Stand United is going to come in and if it will be enough of an impact to turn it around, because I feel like that is the big advantage that Drift Esports hasn't been able to utilize yet. They haven't been able to utilize this cross-map pressure that this Shen can provide for virtually free, because he can always teleport back
Zeno
instantly.
eats the ult. Master Yi here. Once again, Stand United is popped. Does have that Featherstorm, will be forcing that out, looking for the pull back through, but Shen will save the 80 carry, and no consequences from they place it up. In fact, this bottom lane tower now under threat in a big way as Gunpachiro comes down to defend.
Yeah, so that Stand United, as I said, I wondered where the next one would come out. Was it impactful? Yes, it did save Xeno, and
Speaking
this is going to be bad.
Trouble. Dive gets absolutely obliterated by Ecologist damage. Now well and truly back into this game on the Syndra.
Yeah, 2, 3, and 5, having 111 CS, which is just about Vygar's CS count. Yeah, definitely back in this one.
It's just been one of these situations where the Syndra was shut down so deftly in the early game, and Drift simply hasn't taken the steps necessary to cement this lead. And a lot of it just comes down to allowing Master Yi ways to come into this game and be a major threat. He's got 7 of his team's 10 kills. He has a currently 3,000 gold lead individually on this Jarvan, making up the entirety of the gold difference between these squads. And looking at the way that things stand currently, it's really just Otter who can stand in the way of this Master Yi, totally running amok across his team's back line.
Yeah, I feel like the solution here for Drift Esports was, in draft, when you saw the Yi, you needed to pick point-and-click CC that would just target him and stop him from doing whatever it is he wanted to do, because that is ultimately the counter to Yi, and that's why he's not played in professional play, is because anything with point-and-click CC loses instantly.
So, given the current metagame, what do you think the pick would be to totally shut out a Yi?
Malzahar.
That makes sense.
That's the easiest and quickest solution. He's always played when a Syndra is in the meta, because his passive can just negate her ultimate.
Right.
The end. And his 2.5 second suppression that deals % health damage, it's not going to get the kill, but it's going to make their biggest damage threat a non-factor, and their biggest damage threat will die without a QSS. But hopefully your team is smart that if you point and click suppress and he forces the QSS, your non-point and click CC is still going down onto him.
Right. And even with the mitigation on QSS and all that, there's still enough ways to deal with that Yi, but still, it's locking him down in the first place that is always such a problem. And Alpha Mo, for right now at least, has been set up once again with the Ashe CC, looking for the dive under tower. Here's the teleport, deftly dodging out of the way. Has that ultimate, will get stunned up, will end up falling to the tower, getting 1 for 2 so far. But here comes Vygar looking for the stun cage. Getting a little spicy with that. Will catch the binding from the Morgana, and that is a major pickup once again. He's just getting kill after kill after kill. 9-2-2 on the board right now. It's just 20 minutes.
However, he was shut down. Unfortunately, it was by the Shen. You really would have preferred it be by a carry, but a carry would not have been able to secure that kill. So, end of the day, it's good that he died and was shut down. It's just unfortunate that it ended up going on their tank.
Oh, wow! So Vigar still does damage.
Morgana, you do realize that if your spell shield is on, you can just walk out of the baby cage, right? I mean,
I know where you were going with
shield?
that. I know you were going with that. The baby cage.
Well, I mean, what's the point of a spell shield if you're not going to utilize it?
Sometimes it's easy to just forget that you can do that.
Yeah, I mean, it was on the Morgana and just didn't do anything. Just kind of stood there. Let the Vigar do damage.
Vigar can't kill me in one hit. I'm Morgana.
Boom.
Oh.
Morgana with a broken stopwatch, mind you.
She did use that pretty well the time she did use it. But
yeah.
Not really doing
but
anything.
But it's like you're not even playing with stopwatch. Why would you not just walk away, flash away, because the flash was up? You know you're sitting on a ward, so just leave.
Vigar can't possibly still have ult up, says the man.
Says the man whose Vigar ult is already back up, because it's a 52.2 second cooldown at rank 2.
Top 10 photos taken right before disaster. There's
yeah.
a away from the Nami coming through. That tower has already gone alpha mode, taking some big chunks coming on through there. Popping the early ult from the Xayah. The Feather Column back on through. Doesn't even have that available. Oh, what a mistake. No punish. Feels bad.
Feels real bad. However, the Stand United does save the Xayah, so that was good. And that Stand United is getting to be a pretty large shield, which means it's going to be a little bit harder to burst the Xayah.
As long as the ult comes down in time, and that's a big thing to look at as well as the coordination overall. It feels like...
We have a pause, is what it feels like.
Yep. Here we are. So, the thing I did want to mention is that it feels like Drift is still having problems scrambling for answers to this Master Yi. I mean, they're not hemorrhaging gold, which is good to see. They've kept at this 3,000 disadvantage for about 5 or 6 minutes now. And it's good that they're not totally buckling under this pressure, but it's not like they've done things to mitigate this disadvantage either, and that's concerning, especially this 3-0 in the tower score, though Otter may be getting this one in mid here in just a moment.
Yeah, it will. It is going to be an interesting rest of the game here. It's going to be a bit of a game of chess. It's going to be where can Drift claw back some money while they scale.
Yep.
Because ultimately that's what they have to do at this point. They are now sufficiently... Well, actually, they're not sufficiently behind enough yet because the entire gold advantage is Yi. So if they can burst Yi, they still have a very solid chance of being able to win this game. That's why we have the pause. Ecologist was disconnected.
No, they're having mouse issues. Is what is being talked about here. So,
well, that's just being talked about, but disconnected.
Also true. Maybe a
Probably
computer restart coming through here. Yeah.
It's the IT solution. Did you try turning it off and on again?
The thing that's really upsetting is how often that actually fixes all of your problems.
It really is, but I mean, a hard reset can be just what the doctor ordered.
I'm serious. Like, I always roll my eyes like, have you tried restarting your computer? And then it just works. For whatever reason. Oh. Anyway. I think
I read the time expectations on this. We may be here a while.
Oh no.
They said it will take roughly 10 minutes.
Oh. All around me are familiar faces. All right. So let's talk about the game state and what does Drift need to do aside from just like detonating Master
safe and
Yi.
Farm up and scale, and detonate Master Yi in team fights.
Yeah.
The thing that they need to do, right? So the first thing that is the problem is that Yi is getting free access to their carries.
Yep.
Step number 1 needs to be, we know that Yi is just going to go for the carries. all major cooldowns that can peel Yi off the carries. Things like a Nami wave after his first Alpha Strike. Things like a Jarvan Flag and Drag, a Shen taunt. All of those need to be saved for bursting Yi. Like, just those alone. And then the turnaround can happen because nobody else on that enemy team is ahead. They're actually all behind except the Morgana and the Shen. And the Scion is what I meant to say. The Scion, the Morgana, and the Yi are ahead. The carries, other than Yi, are behind. So if you burst the only carry that's ahead, every single fight you then win. Because you can front to back or just dive the back line because they can't stop you. Now, Syndra still does damage, and that's something you have to be aware of, blah, blah, blah. We're all used to Syndra can 100 to 0, and she's a very interactive and fun champion late in the game as a result.
The classic maximum level of Syndra interaction.
Yes. However, definitely your priority in every single fight has to be Yi, and if you manage to burst him out, you still win every single fight because it's only a 3.5k gold lead, and that entirety is your Yi. Because that's the only part of the gold lead that you can actually feel if you're Drift Esports. You can't feel Scion's 1k gold lead, and you can't feel Morgana's 1.3k gold lead.
Right. I mean, the ability for that to transfer into major fight advantage is basically non-existent, but Master Yi is going to tap dance on your team's corpse if you give him the chance.
Exactly, and that's what he wants to do anyway, so, you know.
Don't let Master Yi do the thing he wants to do. Easier said
Don't
than
let
done.
Yi do his job.
The only
That's
thing
why
he's good at. Oh. The classic pause. Tell you what, everyone, we'll be right back here, and we'll let you know as soon as we're back into the game on this one. We'll see you all in just a moment here.
Welcome back, everybody!
Yeah,
it is
we're
a
back.
4v5!
Oh boy, yeah. So the mid laner ecologist for the blue side had mouse issues that apparently were not resolved before the time of the
And
game
they
start.
maxed out their pause time.
Yep. So here we are, 23 minutes in. Welcome to the 4v5, everyone.
Maybe ecologist will join us at some point. I kind of feel like a college professor with that. How nice of you to join us, if he joins us. Otherwise, he'll just be marked as absent.
Are you wearing your tweed sweater vest?
Nah, man, I'm holding my MTG cards and my protein bar.
What? I would ask you, why are you holding Magic the Gathering cards?
Because some professors want to be the cool people.
Hey, you kids hear about those Nintendos?
Anyways, even though it is a 4v5, we will try to maintain some form of seriousness with this game. So we have here the two teams now squaring off. It looks like Drift is going to be using this numbers advantage to the fullest of their advantage, stacking 4 mid and having a split pusher, trying to see if they can split off the members here of SGT.
On the bright side, the Cinder being gone for a little while might not. Again, depending on how close ecologist's local Walmart is, they may still have a chance at this one.
See, here's my thought. You have just further cemented, I will not build MR.
That's reasonable.
Because even if ecologist comes back, ecologist will be so underleveled and so underfarmed. At this point in the game, you know, maybe 5 minutes down the road. If he were to come back right now, maybe not so much. But 5 minutes down the road from now, he'll be underfarmed and underlevel. So I won't actually be worried about his damage output for a long time.
Right, which, again, the better you are able to itemize against the Master Yi, the more likely you are to make sure this one is closed out in decent season.
Yep, absolutely. And I am seeing this Shen. He's got a Randuin's Omen. That's a great start, actually, because that is going to, upon activation, slow the attack speed of this Master Yi, who is building an attack speed build. I mean, we have Blood Razor, Bork, Ginsu's Rageblade. Right. I mean, that screams attack speed to me.
Not to mention, I mean, you also can deal with the Ashe if she's also in the area of effect when that Randuin's goes off, or as a potential secondary target. Certainly a strong pickup from that Shin. Great itemization by Otter there.
Absolutely. It'll be fantastic. Now, the next thing that I need to see, of course, from him is that Frozen Heart, because not only do you want an active, you want an area of effect. Potentially. I'm just saying that to be funny. However, if he built it, it wouldn't be a bad itemization choice either.
If Viger had ulted there, it's a dead Morgana. Wave is going to miss. A little bit slow there on the uptake by Fork Outlet. Can't really blame him there. Ashe playing with fire on that one.
Yeah, definitely. Turning for that W there. Was stuck in an animation channel, however, so honestly, didn't realize that the E was coming down until it would have been too late if that had hit.
Scion ulting back up top there. We'll just be rejoining Otter, who now has a fair bit of defensive stats, broaching that 3,000 HP mark with plenty of armor to spare. Master Yi.
Yeah, it turns into a wet noodle very quickly there.
Right, looking at the situation currently. I'm not seeing Master Yi out on the map. He's in base along with Ecologist. So that's the way things are going to be.
We do have a 3v5 right now. Did two people's mice break? No, wait. He went to drive Ecologist to the store.
Really?
I don't know. I'm guessing.
Oh my goodness. It's always something.
I'll be honest. I don't want to jinx it or call it too soon. But I feel like if Drift play their cards right, the game is over on this Baron.
Well, it's a 3v5, and it's not like their carry is behind by any noticeable level.
It's a 3v5. This Scion is not rotating to stop the 4-man push in mid. Now he is. Yeah, Yi has left. He must be with Ecologist.
Unlucky, to say the
Unlucky,
least.
as we do see in the mid lane engage Xeno killing the Ashe.
Are you telling me that Vigar and Xayah are capable of killing? Shocking. But
what do you mean Vigar 5 shots turrets? He's AP.
Pesafu going to be doing the Cataclysm there. Here comes the ultimate from the Shen.
The cheeky Vigar ult for the steal.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Meanwhile, top lane. Wet noodle fight, everybody.
Nexus will be falling here, and this is going to end, herald the tragic end of
rather
game
depressingly. Yeah, game number 1 going to be going to Drift Esports. Drift Esports on the road to maintaining their title. However, with how that match started, it looked like they may have been out in the first round, which would have been certainly an upset that we would not maybe have expected.
Absolutely. That being said, we'll be right back in just a few minutes here with the second game of the night. Don't touch the dial on the Excellency Twitch.tv channel.